Hello, welcome back to Access. I'm Rob. Joining us is Dave.
Hello.
And Dave, this is Horizon Zero Dawn.
I know, isn't it just? At dawn,
At
Rob.
dawn. We are starting at dawn. This video is... so just how big is Horizon Zero Dawn?
That's a good question that I want answered.
It turns out the answer is quite big. Usually we do a video called The Map from End to End when we have a big open world game like this. But for a couple of reasons, chiefly that I am about 15 hours into the game and still haven't uncovered the map from end to end. And also because, you know, the joy of this game is discovering things for yourself. So maybe if we showed all of this,
yes,
it wouldn't be, you know, you want to discover that for yourself.
Too much, yeah.
So we're going to do a journey kind of up the length of the map almost. We're going to start in Mother's Cradle here. And I'm going to take us, hopefully, if everything goes fine, swimmingly, and we don't get killed, to this vantage point here, which is one of my favourite vantage points in the game because it's really beautiful. And just see what fun things happen along the way.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm going to put a little flag on that vantage point there. Let's begin our adventure, Dave.
Okay, let's do it. And so, you said we're starting out from Mother's Cradle, and that's the sort of first part of the game, isn't it? That's where the first part of the game is set before the open world is fully kind of opened out to you, as it is now.
Yeah, this is kind of the opening area you'll start in, this kind of lush.
And look, Rob, there's not a robot, but still a creature, and actually boars and turkeys and
raccoons and foxes
and rabbits, or hares, they all have things, they all have resources that you need.
Useful resources, yes.
And there's a lot of resource gathering in Horizon Zero Dawn, and a lot of crafting, isn't it? And actually, you know, everything kind of ties into everything. I know you've done another video on the channel about how deep the game play is, how deep the game is.
Very deep, it turns out. And
it is things like that. It's the way that everything kind of fits together that multiplies the sort of depth of it. So, you know, crafting is a good example, and fighting the robots, which hopefully we might see one at some point.
I'm sure we will. They're everywhere.
They're made up of resources. They have strengths and weaknesses, and it's all about knowing those strengths and weaknesses, how to tackle them. But if you want a particular resource from them, you might tackle them in a different way. But it's not quite the same with boars and turkeys and hares. They have their resources, and their weaknesses is basically just anything
Hit
sharp.
Hit them with a spear.
They're quite weak to sharp things.
I mean, the game is not about combat with boars and turkeys.
No.
They're there purely as fat deposits, basically. For you to gather rich fat.
But they do drop rare items, you know.
They do. You can get skins from them, but you basically you can craft potions from animal fat.
This is nice, isn't it? Look at this, how the landscape's opened up.
Let's go nice and
the early morning light.
Let's not go too quickly. The tower's off in the can you see the tool neck there?
Oh
Dave?
yeah, wow, a tool neck right in the distance. That's wicked. And is that where we're heading? There's a lovely mountain on your right.
We're going to go past the tool neck, yeah.
And we should say that we're playing this on just
regular
standard PS4.
Standard PS4, yeah.
It looks this good on standard PS4, even better on PS4 Pro. I mean, what Guerrilla have done here, they're always known for making games of incredible visual quality.
Yes.
And Killzone Shadowfall was an exceptionally good-looking game and a launch title for PS4.
Yeah.
So we knew that they could do this, but this is a completely different kind of game, and it's mad, basically, that their first sort of foray away from a first-person shooter into a completely different, massive game, and one that arguably is much more complex than a first-person shooter to make, and to make good. And it's like amazing.
They've nailed it. It feels like they've been making this kind of game for ages. Here's some robots, Dave.
What are you going to say monsters, Rob? Are you scared of the monsters?
No, I'm not. These are only level 2. I think these are the hunting ground grazers. So
yeah,
they're very low level. So, I mean, grazers, they're quite calm. They're not going to attack you on sight like some of the monsters. The Watchers will.
Yeah, and they do draw. I mean, you can see when you look at them, you can see they draw real-world comparisons with creatures in our own world. And you know, grazers, obviously, they look a little bit sort of like antelope or deer.
They're the herbivore of the machine world.
And they act as such. You can herd them. You can startle them. They don't tend to want to fight. They tend to startle and run away.
A cool thing about them is they have blaze canisters on the back, and if you shoot the blaze canisters with a fire arrow, that sets off like a delayed explosion.
Yeah.
So the blaze canister will set alight, and so you can startle them, have them run away, shoot one of the blaze canisters, and that machine that's running away will explode, and all of the herd will explode with it, and it's
and that's the kind of depth I was talking about. So blaze is the sort of name for, I guess, a kind of fuel in the game. It's like a flammable liquid.
It's basically Horizon's version of fire.
Exactly, and yeah, if you know, that's the thing. If you want to collect blaze, you don't want to explode it. You know, you might want to take down a grazer a different way if you're trying to get its canister of blaze, and that's the cool kind of conundrum of combat in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes,
combat,
absolutely.
Which is really, really fun.
Hopefully we'll show you some combat. I know in this tool neck area here, I'm pretty sure there's a sawtooth on the prowl around here somewhere.
And that's a bit more of a serious creature, especially when you're starting out.
I wouldn't back myself 100% to kill a sawtooth. I mean, there's always the chance that if things go wrong. I mean, I've never died to a sawtooth yet, but they've never been easy either.
No.
So I think if we find the sawtooth, and I get a bit jittery, because I always do when we're capturing.
Yes, it's different.
There's always a danger.
People don't realise.
There's always a danger that the
I can see you're being very cautious, as it is. I mean, this is amazing, isn't it?
Look at this.
This is a part of the old world. This is our world. What do they call it? The metal world. Is that what they call it? Just the old world.
They just refer to it as the metal world, yeah. The world of the old ones.
This is amazing, isn't it? A tool neck is so majestic and unusual and fantastic. Not really dangerous, not bothered by Aloy or anything.
I mean, I reckon if it stood on me, that would be quite
dangerous. Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's not going to try and stand on you.
No.
It's sort of serenely moving around. And you've already
I've overridden this one, yeah.
That
so
tool neck.
They act as map vantage points. So each one is a little platformy puzzle, and you have to clamber about in these ruins here, find a way onto its back, and when you get up to its head, you can override it. And when it's overridden, it reveals a portion of the world map to you.
Yeah, so it's like a little puzzle, and
there we go,
as you say,
at that.
That's so beautiful.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
The ruins of the old world are fantastic, and just really beautiful, really kind of eerie. Just exactly how you'd expect. I don't know. You can see it's so interesting seeing the remnants of our world and the way they interpret what we used to be like and things in the game is really
I often think about that. If our civilization crumbled to dust and another civilization rose up, and in 1,000 years someone just found, I don't know, like a tablet, what would they think it was?
Yeah.
Some watchers on the prowl here. I'm pretty sure there's a sawtooth in here. Scrappers. I don't like scrappers, Dave.
So this kind of mode that you're using is focus mode, just in case anyone doesn't know. And so quite near the start of the game, Aloy finds a little sort of trinket from the old world. She doesn't really know what it is, and it gives her this focus ability. So she's the only character who has it in the game, and she doesn't really understand it. She doesn't quite know what it is or how it works, but it gives her information about the world around her, particularly with regards to the robots. And whenever you encounter a robot for the first time, definitely you want to investigate it with focus.
Definitely want to scan it, yeah.
It's a good way of finding out. It's the only way, really, the best way, definitely, of finding out the strengths and weaknesses of a robot, what component parts it's made up of, and things like that. But it also, you can tag them, you can highlight their routes, so you can be stealthy or set traps for them if you want to sort of take them on in that style, and you can see them through walls and things with it. It's really, really handy.
I feel we should kill one of these, Dave.
Kill a Strider?
A weak Strider. Or maybe I should override it.
Well, I was going to say, or you could override it, which is completely different. So you'll notice loads of tall grass in Horizon Zero Dawn, and hopefully Rob's going to make the most of the tall grass now. You're going to override this one. It's ripe for an overriding. There's like a stealth icon at the top of the screen, which is an eye opening and closing. You can see when it's open.
You're coming with me.
Rob is visible.
There we go.
And he's overridden this Strider.
I can ride it now.
Now you can override it. It doesn't really work. I love the animation of this. I think it's really gorgeous,
it's
the
fantastic.
way it moves.
And there are different different machines that you can override. And I'm not going to spoil how you gain the ability to override different machines, because that's something you should discover for yourself. It's very cool.
Yeah, so you can't override. Oh dear, there's a sawtooth, right?
No, that's not a sawtooth. That's a scrapper. That's
fine. Yeah. I really enjoy that you can override the robots, and each one overrides in a slightly different way. And you can't just override any of them from the start, as you say. You have to learn the ability to do it, which is very interesting. What's your plan here? I think you're riding it straight into a mountain
down
face.
into a cul-de-sac, haven't I? Maybe I should climb up here if I can.
Well, if you can, I think that would be cool, because Aloy's really nimble, and I really like the traversal. It's really pleasing, and it's unusual for an open world game.
It's intuitive and easy.
I think it's quite unusual for an open world game. Anyway, it's not, I suppose, but yeah, it is. And again, in combat, you see how nimble she is. She's so agile, and which makes combat so fun. Dodging out the way, like some sort of amazing bullfighter and things.
Yeah.
She's great fun to control, and she's just a really, really cool character.
I might have to have a little look on the map, I think, Dave.
I think you're going to have to go around to the left and.
I mean, I should be able to climb up that. Actually, that looks like a place I should be coming down rather than up.
You just would
definitely
so I need to bear
left a bit, don't I?
Around this
round the mountain. You can't go over the mountain. You've got to go round it.
I think you probably could, but for the purposes of this video, I think we should go around. There's a turkey. He's lucky. Rob's feeling benevolent.
Let him get away with it.
It's not Thanksgiving
or Christmas
Christmas
yet, is it?
Yeah. Man, so many moments in this game just take your breath away. Like, the foliage is absolutely second to none.
I
don't think
I've seen many games where every single blade of grass is rendered like this.
Yeah. It's actually there. You don't have to just sort of guess. Just kind of imagine it. You can really see it.
Oh, got some rainfall coming now.
There's a little rabbit, little hare. He's safe.
God, this mountain's quite big, isn't it?
It is quite big. This is nice.
As mountains often are.
I haven't experienced too much rain in Horizon.
Oh, it's lovely.
That cheeky boar in the long grass.
The moonlight, especially if you're going through a forest and it's nighttime and the moonlight shining through the trees, it looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah, it does. And there are lots of different kinds of environment, aren't there? We won't be able to see them all, but I've seen on your map and just in your gameplay some different kinds of terrain that you've visited and things. It's really, really striking and beautiful.
It is.
It's not all kind of overgrown and foresty. So this is a Watcher. Watchers they're really low level. They're more sort of alert.
Yeah, they're kind of like the
robots.
I mean, you see this Watcher is protecting a herd of, what's that?
Grazers.
It's a grazer. That's fine. I'm not worried about grazers.
So they really are, as the name suggests, they kind of watch. They've got one big eye on their face.
But look what we can do with the grazers. Let's give them something to think about.
So these are the blaze canisters on the back.
There we go.
You can
That's
see
on fire now, the blaze canister. And now it's going to explode. There we go.
Bosh. Oh dear. It's not gone well for that one.
No.
I think you got the Watcher as well. It was oh man.
So there you go. There's just an example of how tactical combat, in most games you just fire arrows into those things until they died. I used 2 fire arrows and I took out 4 machines.
Yeah. And you could have done it a number of different ways. That's just one way of doing it.
I can override grazers now, so I could have overridden them.
Yeah.
Here's the Watcher who got caught up in the blast. Poor Watcher. But also a cool thing is, you didn't see it there, but I had an instance where a herd of grazers, I killed a bunch of them in an explosion. One of them wasn't quite dead and it was on fire. And the way it was walking along, it was like kind of hobbling along and limping.
Yeah.
And it was maimed and nearly dead. It made me feel really sorry for it. I had to put it out of its misery.
I do feel quite sorry for a lot of them. The sort of less hostile.
I don't feel sorry for things like sawtooths.
No, well, they are very hostile. But yeah, the less hostile creatures. It's because they have they've done such a good job of giving them the characteristic of animals.
Yes.
That's what you're talking about. They hobble along. When you were on that strider riding it, it moves so gracefully, like an actual real creature.
Look at the way the water puddles on the road and things. Okay, the rain's going to stop now. The sun's going to come back out.
You look at Horizon Weatherman. And we're probably like about halfway, aren't we, from where we started now? I mean, you've not been hightailing it over there, but you get a sense of the the scale of just this portion of the map. It is a big map. There's lots and lots to see. I love these ones. These are cool. What are they called? Shell walkers. Shell walkers. And now, they are not so simple a quarry.
No. There are 3 of them here. I'm probably not going to take them on because of this. We're not doing a combat video. But the way you would do it is fire a tear blast arrow at this shield claw, which would stop them being able to generate their shield. And another of my favourite things to do is just use the rope caster to pin them to the ground and then critical hit them. That's my go-to combat tactic.
And that big canister they're carrying on their back is a cargo, and it often contains something valuable, or just always contains something useful. And I just really like that. I really like how they've mixed, machine with animal there. Like it's using a cargo container on its back to carry cargo, like a machine in our world, but also it's very much like a sort of crab.
That might be a sawtooth, Dave. Oh no, it's a bellowback.
Fire bellowbacks
are difficult. I don't want to be stuck in a fight with a bellowback, really. I'm going to try and sneak past this, Dave.
Well, you've already got the fire arrow out.
I think a watcher might have seen me.
And I think... Really? No, I think you're okay. I think you get a bit more of a...
I need to find more about that machine.
A warning if
it was
had.
There, thinking about it.
And look at the scale. I mean, this is a big creature, and this is not one of the big creatures in the game, really.
No.
That is the kind of scale there is in Horizon Zero Dawn. There's loads of
These are interesting, these creatures here. Look, the cargo sack. You can set that on fire. It's got these little dangly bits here underneath, look, blaze canisters that obviously will explode.
But they're hard to hit, those blaze canisters.
They are harder to hit. They're underneath it. So it's kind of protected, whereas other animals have them out on display.
And there are different kinds of bellowbacks. There's a freeze bellowback as well, so they have different elemental kind of... what I love about those ones, I don't think you're going to be able to see it from here, but their sort of cargo sack, or whatever it's called, is you can see the liquid inside sloshing around. That's the sort of blaze or the whatever chemical it is they use to...
And I'm so tempted to start a fight with them, Dave, because I love the combat in this, but this is a map video, so we're gonna press on. And the thing about it is, the combat is always quite challenging, but never in an overwhelmingly difficult kind of way. It's challenging in a think about what else to do to take this animal down.
Yeah.
You always have to. There's always something you can do to swing the tides in your favour.
Definitely. I've done quite a lot of combat in Horizon Zero Dawn. I think it's really, really fun, and I think you're absolutely right. Like, I've lost several times, been killed several times, and never have I felt hard done by or...
Yeah, it just makes you want to go and do it again,
doesn't it? Yeah,
I
was just happy to have another go. I'm like, I think I've got a different idea for how I'd take that down this time. Like, or maybe I'll put a trap first. Maybe I'll try and lure it into the trap and then hit it. Or, if it's a group of robots, it's like I need to take out these smaller ones first. Or, it's a really, really fun puzzle combat.
At
the same time.
Sorry, go on.
It doesn't always. It doesn't have to. It's not always like. I don't want to make it sound sort of tedious. It's really, really fun. You don't always have to be cerebral about it. You can.
It's tactical, but it's in no way slow. It's incredibly fast-paced.
And I think you said it becomes sort of second nature. A lot of it, you're not thinking. You're thinking on the fly, I guess, is what I'm saying. You're making decisions on the fly and just doing it. This is great.
We are entering Pretty Town now.
Look at this.
We're nearly at our destination, which is one of these towers up here. Oh, there are some corrupted watchers. This is bad. Now, corruption. Oh, there are quite a few. I might have to take these out, Dave.
Well, of all the things to be corrupted that you could have a go at, a watcher's probably not too bad. So corruption is something that's we won't really go into here.
We're not going to talk about it. It just makes monsters stronger,
but
basically.
You can see it's different.
I've whistled, in case you didn't hear me whistling, to get him over here.
So a watcher's usually quite an easy kill, and... Well, this corrupted one was from the shadows, but taking them on face to face would be certainly more difficult than a usual watcher.
I mean, the main thing about watchers is they can alert other enemies.
Can you override corrupted robots? Do you know, Rob? Could you have overridden that corrupted watcher? It didn't look like you could.
I don't think you can.
So maybe that's probably a key difference as well. What's your plan here? Are you going to just try and attack from the shadows? This one is aware, but too late. His mates become sort of concerned. He might be going head to head here if he comes over the hill too soon. What's that, a shock arrow? Getting away with it. Oh, nice. A trap. Although they're quite boundy. I'd hate for him to run over it, but he didn't.
So you can trap him there
and trap.
Critical hit to death. I mean, there are just 3 different ways you can kill the same enemy.
And you can see, look, a bit of purple loot. Purple loot.
Oh, I love the colour purple.
And
ancient
it's
debris. It's
ancient
just so
vessel.
exciting. Everything that's littered around this world, it kind of builds up the story, builds up the lore, makes you want to know what is going on. It's just such an exciting place in which to exist.
In fact, one of the things, you found some ancient debris there, and you do find, you know, lots of sort of things from the old world. And I really like that they're interpreted in the way that Aloy and her people interpret it. So, for instance, I found an ancient bracelet, it was called, but if you looked at the little sort of picture of it, it was a wristwatch, you know. And but they didn't know it was a wristwatch. They didn't know what it was. It was a digital wristwatch, like a sort of Casio one. There's loads of that in there. They kind of make guesses at what things were, but they usually get them wrong. You can see from the picture, you know, what they're talking about. There was another one that was like a bottle opener. I can't remember what they thought it was. It was something to do with, might have been earrings or something. And it was like, I really enjoy that.
This is a bit more dangerous now, Dave.
This
is a corrupted scrapper.
He's got a mate as well, Rob, behind the wall. Just FYI. What are you thinking here? So he's got a weakness. The
power cell.
That's the power cell at the back is weak.
Which you shoot with a shock arrow. Which should have the same kind of effect as hitting a blaze canister.
You can see there the amount of like an energy kind of dome came out, so it shocks anything else in the vicinity. A lot like the explosion of the blaze canister. I think that was ineffective, Rob. If I was you, I would have shot the other one in the tail as well. In fact, definitely try and do that.
That should take both of them out. Go on, go closer together. Oh, he's coming over here. It's taken one of them out, and now that one's stunned.
Run in and critical hit him before he's awake.
Did you like that, Dave?
I did like that.
Bit of a Fernando Torres knee slide.
It was
there.
Nice. The sliding is so fun, so satisfying. Sliding into the tall grass is ace.
We're nearly here.
Where in the world is this? That's another question.
Well,
I've heard some rumours.
You can discover that if you probe far enough.
Oh, really? Have you discovered it?
Yes.
No spoilers. Oh,
I'm not going to say anything about it, but I do know where this is.
That's cool. I love that it's based on a real place in the world. As I said, I've heard some rumours. Some people have spotted some sort of landmarks already and had a bit of a guess as to where it might be.
Well, vantage points do help with that.
Yes,
I'm not going to be revealing anything here. We're just going to be climbing up and surveying the beauty of this place from on high.
Up into this old skyscraper. That's so cool.
Look
at the cars. They're just like tombs.
It's such a varied world as well. You've got horrible, frigid, frozen wastes up north in the mountains. You've got this kind of amazing reclaimed old ruin, just completely reclaimed by forest and lush tropical flora rather. And we're not going to spoil anything, but some other types of areas as well. Okay, now I just have to find. This is each one's like a little platform puzzle. These vantage points. So I have to find the handhelds that are going to help me climb up. They'll be here somewhere. Here we go. So let's get up here.
Good old bit of yellow terrain.
Yes.
Think of another PlayStation exclusive that has a little bit of yellow to help you out.
It's just the language of video games now, isn't it? You just know where you are. Okay, where's the next one? There it is. So I love this as well.
I do. It's great. She's so agile and easy to control and sort of sure-footed. I don't ever find her going the wrong way or making mistakes. And
let's not make a mistake and fall down now, because then that'll make us look silly, won't it?
It would, yeah. Well, it'll make you look silly. I'm safe.
Look at that. She knows what she's doing.
I could do that, probably. I don't want to, brag or anything. I probably won't do it, but
I'd advise against you trying it, Dave.
Oh, we're tantalisingly close now, Rob. No last mistakes. But where? Along this balance beam. Looks like there's a rope or something to climb up. Oh no,
that's for getting down.
That's for getting down.
Okay, so we made
it. Look at that. I think I recognise that shape.
I wonder what it used to be.
Lovely supply crates. Now, I'm not going to activate that vantage point there.
So you'd usually come here and use your focus.
You just tap R3. You tap R3 and it reveals something, which we're not going to do. We're just going to gaze at how amazingly pretty this is. Look at this place, Dave.
Oh, it's absolutely... Look at that skyscraper that's sort of sheared apart in the middle and fallen down. That's fantastic.
What happened?
I don't know.
What happened here, Dave?
I don't know, and that's what's so compelling about Horizon Zero Dawn, isn't it? And the world around you, and why you want to explore it all the time, because you come across all kinds of little self-contained stories and hints about what's happened and just more mystery. It's really, really compelling.
It's just a stunning game. It really is. We've got a bunch of other videos on the channel going into more depth about, you know, combat, crafting, weapon mods. This video was just to give you a sense of how traversal around the world works, the kind of little glimpse into a few bits of combat.
Yeah.
Also, how it's possible to, if you don't fancy fighting every machine, you can just sneak by most of them, as I did in that.
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of stealth.
Look, the sun is setting. The sun is setting on this video, Dave.
It's perfect time. Well, it literally is. Perhaps we should have one last look at the map, Rob, just to reiterate the journey that you took today.
I was going to do that. So, we started all the way down here in Mother's Cradle.
And you can see there's a whole further southern area.
There's a whole area here. All we did was take a straight route up. We went past the tall neck area. This is where the tall neck area was.
Around that mountain.
That's where I came stuck at the mountain. I had to go around it. And we went over to here.
Into this old city.
So, we did that. And look how big the map is, Dave.
Yeah.
Look at the size of it. So, hopefully that gives you a sense of just how big this map is. You can fast travel to areas you found previously. You pick up fast travel packs.
Or you can craft them. I really like that. I like that it's not just an endless resource.
So I can just pick this area here, press R2, and I can fast travel to it. You can also override striders, ride them around. There are other machines you can also ride. It's a great game to get around, and it's a wonderful world to explore as well. There's so much hidden and tucked away that you could just spend hours ignoring the story just doing. But there we go. There's a brief look at just how big Horizon Zero Dawn is. Please do check out the other videos of Horizon we've got on the channel, and please do subscribe, because hopefully we'll have more on the game coming up soon.